What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Before we get into our Bengals franchise today, I was going to bring up what happened on Sunday and kind of give you guys my thoughts and opinions on the matter. I don't do this for views. I don't do this thinking that my opinion matters on a grand scale. I'm a very small voice in the Madden community, but no matter how small a voice is, it's still a voice. It's still an opinion, and whether I'm talking to someone in person, just one guy, one person, or 1,000 of you guys watching this video, it doesn't matter as long as the voice is coming out, right? And you guys have a voice too, and I think everybody has that voice, no matter the size of the audience. You know, if you feel like someone needs to hear something, then it's a job well done with using your voice. And honestly, what happened on Sunday, I'll be honest with you guys, I don't post a lot of controversial stuff or politics or social news or anything like that on my channel. I feel like people come to the channel to get gaming gameplay and gaming news and things like that, not any of that stuff, right? They come here for the entertainment, not for that. But I feel like because this affects the gaming community, I feel like that's something that I need to bring up. And I don't do this out of necessity either. I just do it because I actually want you guys to know that if you're going through something difficult, something that's really just for whatever reason, just you can't grasp it, if it's really putting you down, if you're really in a dark place, seek that help. Please seek that help, because honestly, it's not just you. It's not just you. You're not alone in that. There's tons of people who go through things and have a low sense of self-worth, and whatever that is that's driving it, it's not healthy. It's not how you should feel. And self-awareness goes a long way too. If you're humble enough to admit that something is wrong, then you'll go get the help. And as human beings, we need that sense of socialness and community, and feeling like you're cared about and feeling like you matter, and the problems that you're going through are not solely your own, that other people have done it, other people have gone through it and made it out just fine. And which brings me to the point that this act of violence is more than just the fact that the guy lost a game, right? It goes deeper than that. There was obviously some mental, emotional type of issues, and because of what he did, because of what he was going through internally, it spilled over and now has affected families, friends, people that knew Elijah and Taylor. I did not personally know them. I know that a lot of people did in the Madden community, and now they're gone. And it's like, for what? Ultimately, it's for what? It's stupid. It's ridiculous. And if you can have enough self-awareness to know that you're going through something that's difficult, then when you get that help, whether it's talking to someone, whether it's whether it's physical, whether it's just getting a hug from somebody, whether it's just making you laugh, hanging out with people at the bar or Buffalo Wild Wings or something, or just playing a game with each other, whatever it is, as human beings, we need that type of interaction. We need to make sure that we know that we're not alone in this, right? And I think that the community has done a good job. I've read Twitter on this issue, and a lot of people are saying kind of the same things, and I couldn't agree more. Lastly, something I want to end on is that we need to stick together as well. A lot of politicians and others claiming that games are causing violence, and even the quote-unquote the sports ones are causing violence now, and that's just simply an overreaction. And we need to help people understand how to put things into perspective. Just like guns don't commit the crime, neither does a controller, neither do pixels on a screen, so ultimately neither do video games. It's people, and it's always been people that commit the crimes, and that's just the way that it is, guys. I mean, a controller can sit right here, right in front of me, and not do anything, right? It's a gun can do the same thing, and it's the person behind it that's doing the act and whatever that person is going through is causing them to do that act. And I just think that A, we need to stick together, and B, we need to make sure that people are understanding that when they're going through things that are difficult, seek that help, that you're not alone, and things are going to work out in the end. So that's all I wanted to say to you guys, and so let's get right into the Bengals. What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode number 11 of our Cincinnati Bengals franchise. Today we got some things to cover before we get into the Saints gameplay. Both of us are 5-3. It's going to be a pretty interesting game. By the way, Sunday we will have Week 11 action against the Baltimore Ravens, and then on Thursday we're going to have the Browns. Sunday we're going to have the Broncos, so on and so forth. So basically, guys, Thursday update type of videos are no more. It's going to be Thursday Madden gameplay, and then Sunday Madden gameplay. So we're going to have 1 week per day, and that's how we're going to operate it going forward. The NFL season is about maybe, I think, 2 weeks away from now. So it's going to be pretty cool to see how the Bengals perform, and maybe they can play like we're doing with them. So first things first, let's talk about contract negotiations. So Carlos Dunlap actually got an extension today. Today is Wednesday that I'm recording this. So we're going to end up having to sign him as well, just because I want to keep this somewhat realistic. And I always like to go a little bit further than what they're looking for, simply because I feel like they don't sign if you just offer them the bare minimum. So we've got Carlos Dunlap. You'll notice that Geno Atkins is not on this list either. I actually re-signed him Tuesday before the Bengals did today. So kind of cool that we ended up doing that. I'm going to withdraw the offer on Michael Johnson. We didn't have an offer in the first place, but I don't feel like a 31-year-old defensive end is going to help us here at $9 million. I just don't think that that's a good investment. He was really good for the Bengals, I feel like, in his career. And it's just, it's coming to an end here. As a 79 overall, it's just kind of not worth the money. Tyler Kroft and CJ Uzomah. Look at the contract totals of what they're looking for. 645, 861. So that's about $15 million to get two tight ends that are serviceable versus $21 million for Tyler Eifert, who's constantly injured, it seems like, right? And if he does go down, you're going to have these backup tight ends anyway, right? So, and Tyler Kroft's going to be the guy that's going to be playing, right? So it's almost like we got $15 million going to be tied up in Kroft and Uzomah, and you got $21 million invested in Tyler Eifert. That's $5 million less if you just got rid of Tyler Eifert. And I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. I want to know what your guys' opinions are on that, because I feel like a lot of you guys were very vocal about Tyler Eifert coming back or being let go. So I'm going to open up the floor once more to discuss what we want to do with Tyler Eifert. We have the funds to do it. We got the money to take care of it eventually, probably later on in the season. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are. I'm leaning towards just letting him go, honestly, and just re-signing Kroft, re-signing Uzomah. We've let Chris Baker walk. I'm not interested in the 30-year-old. They did cut him in real life, so it just kind of makes sense. Bullock, probably not going to bring back Randy Bullock. Preston Brown, I'd like to bring him back, but not for 5 years, maybe like 3. Get him to about 28 years old, and let's see if he can actually reach that 80-plus overall. That'd be nice. Vincent Ray, goodbye. A little too old there for my liking. I mean, you would be a good bench option type of guy, but I'm looking for a little bit younger, a little bit better. Trey Hopkins, I'm going to leave these guys to you, and we can talk about everybody else here in a few weeks. So let's actually now skip over to the draft class. I've got some scouting updates for you guys. All right, so let's make this thing really quick because of that introduction that I had. Don't want to go too deep here, but I ended up scouting Will Grier. When I'm looking at film of Will Grier, I think that the throw power needs to be up a little bit higher. I feel like it should be like an A-, but we won't be editing any of these players. We'll keep everything the same because I'm all about that. keeping things consistent. A lot of suggestions about Tyree Jackson and looking at him, that A-plus throwing power. People are starting to compare him to Cam Newton in the making. He would not be a bad pick in the 3rd round to kind of groom under Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton's got 3 more seasons with us. If we let him go, if we trade him, that's one thing. But at the very least, maybe we stick Tyree Jackson behind him and let him grow. Honestly, he can do a lot. He can run it. He can throw it pretty hard. He's got some accuracy. Got to work on the mid-range accuracy a little bit, but I kind of like Tyree Jackson from what I saw of him. If we're going to end up taking a first-round quarterback, I don't think that that's going to happen, honestly. I think what we would have to do in order to do that is we'd have to end up trading some players or moving up somehow, some way. But, as it stands, for first round, I'm really still heavily considering Jonah Williams or Trey Adams. Maybe we wait and we can get Cajuste, or I'm not sure how you say his last name, but Jonah Williams, Greg Little. I'm looking more as a pass protector because Cordy Glenn has been terrible, absolutely terrible for the Bengals in our series. So, Jonah Williams, Trey Adams for pass protector. I've seen Mitch Hyatt play. He's just a big body, honestly. What he does doesn't really impress me a whole lot. If anything, Isaiah Prince would be a nice guy to get. I'm looking at big schools here. I don't really want to be taking on, some of these smaller schools, especially in a type of rebuild that we're gonna get ready and we're about ready to do. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Left guard, scouted some left guards here. We do need to shore that up. I don't think that Luke Joeckel is the answer, obviously, long term. I don't feel like Clint Bowling is the answer as well. I think the offensive line in general needs a lot of work. And obviously, if Jonah Williams or Trey Adams are not available, we might need to consider David Edwards or Dalton Risner. I think that these types of players would be really good for us to really shore up that offensive line. Now, a guy that I'm actually really impressed with is Devin White. Kid can run. He is so freaking fast. You know what? He was actually a running back that converted over to linebacker, and for his size, he's strong. He is strong. He wraps you up, throws you to the ground, and it's like, dude, I'm 6 foot. I'm 6 foot, like 180, right? I'm kind of a twig, right? He's got 60 more pounds on me, and he's pure muscle. Like, Devin White is pretty dang good. He would be a nice defensive player for anyone that takes him. I'm kind of impressed by this guy as well, Anfernee Jennings. Turnover machine there for Alabama, so I'm really looking at him as like maybe a 3rd round type of pick, a mid to late type of guy. But the guy that I'm really, really, really looking at, I know that I said I'm looking at left tackle, but the guy that I'm really looking at is Jaquan Johnson out of Miami. Guy is the captain of the turnover chain on defense, and he hits you hard, and he makes his presence known. He makes you know that if you want to go up for a pass up the middle, you're going to get laid out. Like, this guy, he's got that, I'm starting to say it a little bit more, but Charles Davis likes to use the word moxie. He's got the moxie. He's got that alpha dog mentality, and honestly, I think that that's what this Bengals team needs. I know that Colin Cowherd in our first episode, the little hype video, is talking about how the Bengals historically have put themselves into situations where they're drafting players like that, but I feel like you can be passionate, you can have that fire as long as you're playing smart, as long as you're playing with your head on your shoulders versus just wearing your heart on your sleeve, right? If you're making dumb penalties because you can't get your emotions in check, that's what Colin Cowherd was talking about, and I totally agree with him. You need guys that have passion, but they can control that passion. They call it controlled rage. If you can have that, I think that you're obviously going to be a very, very good player. That means you want to win. That means you've got that desire. You got that fire inside of you that you want to get the W and do anything you can possible to get that W. I think Jaquan Johnson would be really, really good for us, especially considering how Iloka was cut So Jesse Bates is going to be the starter next season, so we won't bring Iloka back. And then Sean Williams is constantly getting burned, it seems like, in these last few games. So I feel like Jaquan Johnson might be a good guy to grab. One last guy that I was looking at is Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Hybrid type of player. I know we don't really need a free safety because we got Jesse Bates, but wouldn't that be kind of a nice 1-2 punch right there? We could even throw Gardner-Johnson into some packages here. Basically a blitzer type of guy. He can tackle. Just from looking at film, I hope that when we scout him next week that, you know, he actually aligns with what I saw, what his scouting report really is in real life. He's a good tackler. He can cover. That's why they marked him as a hybrid. He's a dang good player, and for third round talent, I think that we might want to be able to grab him as well. All right, guys, so now it is time to get into the Saints gameplay. There was a request. Go with the orange jerseys, they said. So we are going to go ahead and do that. So let's see. Yes, get into those orange jerseys, and we're good to go. All right, guys, let's get this gameplay underway. New Orleans Saints 5-3, Bengals 5-3. So it's going to be a pretty tough game, in my opinion. You got Drew Brees, really high-powered offense. Our defense has not played very well in the last 2 weeks against the Buccaneers and the Chiefs. More so against the Buccaneers, which was very, very recent. Chiefs, they played okay. Tyreek Hill made a couple big plays, but more so the Buccaneers just really schooled us in the secondary. We're going to have to get a lot of pressure up front against Drew Brees in order to take care of business in today's football action. Here we go. Kickoff out there to Ted Ginn, who is a dynamic kick returner. And look at this. He's going to spin off, but he's going to get up to the 30-yard line. So good starting field position for Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints offense. Like I said, this is going to be tough for us. So we're going to have to do a lot of blitzing, a lot of big hits like that. Vontaze Burfict with the laying the lumber there. Going to be 2nd and 11. Little handoff stretch there to Kamara, but good stop there. Good stop there. Going to get the first down here. Denard actually was blitzing on that play. Josh Hill unable to come up with the catch, so it's going to be 2nd and 10 now. Here's Brees. He's going to find Ted Ginn up the middle. Jesse Bates with the tackle. They're going to get 9 yards, so good gang tackle there to stop them short of the first down. And here is Bates. Look at Bates. Great read, man. Great read in the backfield. Going to stuff Kamara for a negative yard rush. Field goal team coming on out. Barely kicks it through. So it's going to be 3-0 here early against your Cincinnati Bengals. Here's a toss play. Joe Mixon try to get involved early. Negative 1 yard rush right there. AJ Green coming in motion here. We're going to keep going with the toss here. And look at Joe Mixon going to get to the outside. Going to bust off the tackle. Fight for that extra yardage. He's got 2 rushes for 15 yards. So that's a gain of 16 on that play. 2 rushes, 15 yards. I like it. We got to stick to our game plan here, guys. Want to be able to run the football a little more than we have been lately and really get Mixon and Bernard, even get Bernard involved a little bit more. I know he's been kind of absent, but good read there by Mixon to go up the middle in the face of that linebacker, and really good pull right there from our guard. I believe that was Jockle. And a pass complete here to Josh Malone for a first down. A little counter play to Joe Mixon, and he's going to pick up 9 yards right there. So he's got 5 for 38 right now. So really pretty good drive here by Cincinnati. I know we don't want to settle for 3 points, though, as we have been in a lot of games. We have not been able to stick it into the end zone. Dalton here with some audibles at the line. Dalton trying to find somebody open. There's nobody open. We probably could have forced it over to the flat route there, that little swing pass. I think that was Mixon or Bernard. But again, I mean, he was open, but you got to get yards after the catch here. And Bernard was wide open on that play. I think the A route was open in there, but we were looking for AJ Green. We were looking for Tyler Boyd, trying to get a big play there, but we're going to have to settle for 3 points. Look at Vigil setting up the right tackle right there. He got Dunlap to take his man, cut it back to the inside. Nice move by Vigil, going to get that sack. So we get the football back here. Firing it deep here to AJ Green, but he's going to draw a defensive pass interference call on the corner there for New Orleans, and we're going to set up here from the 18. We're at the 44-yard line at the spot of the foul. Here's Dalton firing it to A.J. Green. That's his first catch of the game. Dalton dropping back in a 7-step drop, and look at this, Tyler Boyd with a one-handed grab. What a grab by Tyler Boyd to set us up on the 6-yard line. That's a 27-yard gain. Dalton here with a 5-step drop. Got nothing. There was nobody open on that play. Rankins with the sack. It seems to be a recurring theme here, guys, in this game. A lot of sacks given up by this offensive line. Dalton, again, can't find anybody open, but Cameron Jordan could not come up with the fumble recovery. And again, guys, the Bengals are going to have to settle for a field goal. They just cannot punch it into the end zone in these last 2 games for whatever reason. It's just not been a very efficient offensive group this season. So, little handoff here. 3rd and 16. That was after a holding penalty for New Orleans. So they aren't having the best showcase in their offense today either. 11 seconds after we utilized our timeouts correctly. A is wide open. We got Josh Malone with a big catch. Got to get down. 4 seconds, 3 seconds now. Timeout called. So we're going to set up for another, you guessed it, field goal. So 31-yard field goal attempt here to make it 9-3 Cincinnati Bengals as we go into the half. So, I mean, I'm going to take that, right? I mean, a touchdown obviously gives the Saints a 1-point lead in the next quarter. We could lose this game if things hold serve, right? So we definitely need to get the ball into the end zone and stop settling for these field goals. Passing yards, both teams defensively are playing very well. So we got to get the pass going. Our rushing game is pretty good. It's probably the staple of this offensive output today. So we got to get the pass going, a little play action here, trying to feed off of that running game that we've been successful at today. So we get a first down there to Hewitt. Then A.J. Green's going to pick up a first down here in a 2nd and 5. We're at a 3rd and 3 now. 3rd quarter here, mid-part, about 4:45 left to go, and Dalton trying to find the A route or the middle route that was cutting up the middle, and just another inaccurate pass for Dalton. I think that's due to the sliders, and I kind of like these sliders, guys. Charter 04. Really good slider set. I'm actually really impressed with how the game has been playing. You can actually run the football. You can throw it a little bit. Gotta get better, though, at throwing these passes here as we see a wide-open Tyler Boyd. I love these kind of crossing routes. I know it may be a little cheesy, but, little Madden cheese there. But, hey, if the CPU is going to do it on all Madden, then we're going to have to do it here. As another sack. Cameron Jordan with three sacks on this game. And here we get a little play action pass rolling out and a nice little toss there on the run to Tyler Kroft on a 2nd and 16 after that sack, and we're going to pick up the first down. So got to love that. Here's Dalton here on a 2nd and 9. We've got a bunch set. I love the bench route, but this is not the bench play. But look at this. Again, guys, another sack. So that right side of our offensive line is just not coming through here. Check out the blocking. So I don't know what that attempt is there by Jake Fisher, but even worse of an attempt by Gio Bernard. Like, you didn't even touch Cameron Jordan right there. So I know Cameron Jordan's a really good player, but, we got to have better blocking than that. And A.J. Green trying to make something happen here with his athletic ability, unable to do so. Going to be 4th and 15. So we're going to settle for another field goal here. 15-5. 15-5. Unbelievable. Unreal, guys. It's insane. So, I mean, this is like a baseball game at Coors Field or something. This isn't a football game. So, 4th and 10 now after that incompletion. Here's Brees firing it to Josh Hill, and Jesse Bates is going to deflect it off of his helmet. He didn't even turn around. So we'll take it. 2nd and 21 now after another sack and a penalty. This is going to be 2nd and 21. And check this out. Tyler Eifert with the huge catch. We needed this, guys. We needed that catch. We needed that first down. It's going to be 2nd and 12 now. And here's Eifert yet again. He's going to pick up another first down at the 25-yard line. So Dalton's 16 of 34 for 250 yards. I like the yardage output, but got to be more efficient than that. That's 18 incompletions, only 16 completions. So very, very inaccurate in today's game. But 3rd and 7 with 2:26 left to go, and Bernard's going to pick up the first down. So, guys, all we're trying to do is kill this clock, but we want a touchdown at the very least, make it 22-5, and just get out of here with a W. And we got 1:51 left to go. New Orleans with one more timeout. We got to get a score here, and Joe Mixon going to find the end zone on a halfback toss. Take a bow, take a salute. We're going to win this football game, guys. Minute 48 left to go, and New Orleans is actually driving here. 3rd and 6. They're just trying to save face here going to next week, and on a little bit of a high note. But look at that play by Jesse Bates. A first down was going to be had right there, but Bates knocks the football loose, and it's going to be 4th and 6. I would love to stop New Orleans right here. I would love it. Just beat them. Just single digits right here. Don't even get it into double digits right now. So 4th and 6, and fire into Josh Hill, and the ruling is going to be incomplete. Vontaze Burfict with the coverage, and Brees just led him a little bit too far out. So Saints lose, Bengals win. Final score 22-5. Kind of a weird game. Probably one of the weirdest games of the season, I'm hoping, because even though I like the way that the Sliders are playing, Drew Brees and the Saints offense just didn't have it. We were blitzing on almost every single play. Well, almost every single play. But the idea generally is that when we were blitzing on Brees, he just got happy feet and had to get rid of it quickly. So it really limited their big play striking ability. And I think that really allowed us to win this football game. We took a lot of sacks, so there's still a lot of work to be done with the offensive line. Hopefully they can pull through in next video on Sunday. So I will see you guys then. Leave a like if you like this thing, and I'll see you guys then. As always, hoo-day and peace.